Are you thinking of planning a destination wedding or already started planning and seem to have a lot more questions than you have answers? Well, we're here to help with that. Hi, I'm Jack with Destination Wedding Geese, and I'm here to answer some of the questions you might have regarding planning a destination wedding. Is there a better time of year to host my wedding at? Well, the answer for that is a little bit complicated. The answer is first you should really look at the weather where you want to host your wedding. The next question is in terms of the pricing, the room rates are typically going to be lower in warmer destinations between the summer and the fall. But if you want to have a wedding in Mexico on the beach or in Jamaica on the beach in February, yes, the room rates are going to be higher. What we see is room rates are higher when it's colder in the Northeast. So think about what the weather is like in Philadelphia, Chicago, or Boston in the winter, and that's when the room rates are going to be higher when it's colder. In terms of your private events, most of the time the private events and the decor and the DJs and photographers, those prices will stay constant all year round. Now periodically resorts will have specials that they will say during this given month they may have a promotion going on. So you really have to work with your travel planner to check out variable dates when you're looking about planning your destination wedding. How far in advance should I start planning my destination wedding? This is a question we get all the time. I would say it varies upon how many people are in your wedding. If you have a wedding for 2 or 4 or 6 people, we could probably get that done for you tomorrow or later in the week. But if you have more than, say, 40 to 60 people, I would say you really want to start 6 to 9 months in advance. If your wedding is going to be over, say, 60 to 100 people, 12 months to 18 months in advance is a good time to start planning. What you will find is the further out you plan, the more resort options you're going to have to find the perfect venue that you've dreamed about at the time you want to have it, on the day you want to have it, at the resort you want to have it. So what we find is the closer we get in, the resorts may not have Saturday nights. They may only have Saturday mornings. So it's really important, I would say, that you plan a little bit further in advance, and whoever you're working with should come up with a couple options of hotels so that you can look at various dates, times, and venues so you see the options you have. I want to bring gift bags and give gift bags out to my guests at the wedding. How do I get them to the resort, and how do I give them out at the resort? It's actually a slightly complicated question. So the issue is you can buy all your gift bags and put them together at home, or buy all the ingredients and ship them down in your suitcase and bring the bags and put them together at the resort. You risk 2 things in doing that. One is the bags getting lost and not getting there in time. 2, going through customs and them asking you, are you bringing any merchandise to sell or gifts for anybody? And of course you're going to say yes. No, most people say no. And then you hit that button in Mexico, boom, and it turns red. They take your suitcases over, they open them, and they see 50 gift bags or 100 pieces of gum or 16 bottles of suntan lotion. We have had guests in the past tell us that when they go through customs and they've not declared this, they take it from them. So you really have to choose that if you say yes or no, and if you do say no, you're risking them looking in your suitcase. The other option is you can go to the destination and go to a local store or a Walmart. If you're going into Cancun, Cabo, Puerto Vallarta, Punta Cana, you can pretty much get everything that you can get in the US for your gift bags. Many of the resorts will offer you the service of them putting your gift bags together. The pricing can be a little bit high. The next part of the question is this, is how do I get the gift bags to my guests when they get to the resort? 2 options. One is every resort will offer a service to send the gift bags to your guest rooms. The resorts typically are going to charge between $5 to $8 per drop-off. But you can tell them what day you want it sent to, you can assign which bags go to which rooms, and the resorts are great of doing it. The second option is you do it. I have 2 ideas that we tell our clients on this. Number 1 is you ask the resort if on the day you have the majority of your people coming in, that they either set up a little check-in table or if they give you a little table, that when your people come in, they can be sent to you. and you or a family member hand them the gift bag. Most of the resorts will do that. The second option would be that you can ask the resort to provide you a list of all your guests' room numbers. Now, some of the resorts may not do this for security reasons, but if they will, you can then take that list, run around, and then hang the gift bags on the doors. It's not something we suggest because it's not going to be put in the room. It's only going to be put on the door, and you risk someone potentially taking what's in the gift bag. How do I get my wedding gown to the resorts? So a couple different stories I've heard and thoughts on this. Number one is people perceive that if you get on an airplane today with your wedding gown in its long bag or a box, you can say to the flight attendant, can you check this for me? Well, they can't. If you've been on a plane recently, you may notice most of the planes don't have coat closets anymore because they're squeezing so many seats on planes. So typically the flight attendant is going to say to you, well, try finding a place in the back and put it in the overhead. And when you do that, you risk someone putting their bag or their carry-on on it. So we have a few ideas. Number one is book a first-class ticket. It's your honeymoon, your destination wedding. Upgrade yourself on it. Because if you do that, you're going to be the first one on the plane, and the flight attendants will probably give you a little bit more special treatment when they know you're going for your wedding. The other thing is many of the first-class cabins, even on smaller planes, still have a coat closet or will have an area that they can put the gown in. Another alternative, which is probably not a bad idea, and we've suggested this and people have done it, go out and buy a big, inexpensive suitcase. You can find them online, and then maybe $100. Buy the suitcase, just put your gown in that by itself. And then if you want to ship it, you can. But it's safe because it's the only thing in the suitcase and nothing else will hurt it. Here's a question that is near and dear to my heart, which is, should I hire a travel professional to help me plan my destination wedding? Okay, you can imagine what my answer is. Of course you should. Okay, so the reality is this. We would not suggest that if you have more than 2 people attending your destination wedding, that you do it on your own. It is a headache, it's stressful, and it puts you in a position of not only being the bride and groom, but having to be the logistics manager for you and your guests. So I did a video, I'm going to link to it either here or here. You can watch the video, it's in depth of why we suggest a travel professional. But here's a couple reasons. One is we don't charge for our service. So if you can have an expert on your side, an advocate for free, does that make a lot of sense? We know the resorts, so we actually know the reality versus what the resorts tell you. Again, we're working for you, not for the resorts. So yes, I highly suggest that you have a travel planner on your side to help plan your destination wedding. Here's a really good one. Should I have my wedding midweek or weekend? Which one's cheaper? Well, a few years ago, I would tell you midweek was always cheaper. The hotels had weekend rates and midweek rates were less money. The reality is today, the hotel stay portion is going to be exactly the same the majority of times. I mean, if you carve out holidays, Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, spring break, but other than that, most, whether it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, are going to be the same price. There are certain hotels that will have special rates if you arrive on a special day of the week. The real difference we've seen is the resorts really want to stimulate more weddings during the middle of the week. So there are resorts that will provide you more perks if you have a wedding on a midweek versus, say, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. Can I get a bunch of free stuff and discounted rates if I have my wedding at a resort? The answer is yes. Most of the resorts will provide group rates as well as perks. Now let me give you an example. There are various chains of resorts that if you have 6, 7, 8 rooms, they will give you a free room for every 6, 7, 8 rooms. Some resorts it may be 10, some resorts it's 5, but the majority of the resorts will provide free rooms for wedding groups. They will also provide other perks such as room upgrades, free transportation to and from the resort. One of the resorts actually provide you a free anniversary stay if you come back to that resort or one of their sister resorts. Other resorts will provide you free cocktail parties. So the answer is yes. You can get free private events, perks, upgrades, free trips, and discounted rates for you and your guests at many of the resorts. Well, I hope some of these questions you've had or maybe thinking about and the answers I've provided have been helpful. I probably have a stack of 100 more. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to click down below and leave a comment. You can also send me an email and I'll try to answer it directly, or feel free to just give us a call. Thank you again for watching our videos. Please feel free to subscribe, hit the bell. We post videos every week, so that there'll be a new video coming every week.